Rho Alpha Tau East Texas Chapter, rhoalphatau.com. His work, our hands, Christ and community. Men 2 Conference, Saturday, July 19th, 10:30 a.m. Home 2 Suites by Hilton Fairview Allen 290 Murray Farm Road, Fairview, Texas. Come share in this safe space experience for men. Guest speakers, host Joseph B. Roberts, Hilton Young, T.C. Alexander Jr., keynote speaker Dr. Marvin Cotton Jr., Visionary. Minister Stephanie M. C. Tickets on Eventbrite, vendor space available for men-owned businesses.
My brothers, it is your boy Joseph Roberts here, and I am inviting you to join me at the Men Hurt 2 Conference being held here in Dallas on July 19th, 2025. We got an awesome lineup of speakers. There's going to be food, there's going to be music, there's going to be door prizes, just a host of activities that are going on exclusively designed and set up just for the men. We don't oftentimes have these safe spaces for us to chop it up and fellowship with one another. But on that day, July 19th here in Dallas, we are going to be doing just that. And to any ladies that are tuning in right now to this video, if you got some special men in your life, whether it's your husband, your son, your brother, your nephew, your grandson, I don't care who he is. If you know that he needs to be a part of something like this, get him registered too. Simply go to Eventbrite today to get yourself registered and get your ticket. Give somebody a ticket. We look forward to seeing you. This year, on July 19th, 2025, there's an all-men conference where men can come and find exactly what they need in order to heal and position themselves to get the very best out of their lives. If you're ready for change, if you've gone through something or going through something, this conference is for you.
Thank you for tuning in. A live stream new episode of the Stephanie M. Seaton Sunday Show will be starting soon with your host, minister, and author Stephanie M. Seaton. If you would like to be a guest on the Stephanie M. Seaton Sunday Show, email Stephanie at stephaniemseatontheauthor@gmail.com.
Hello, and welcome to the Stephanie M. Seaton Sunday Show. Very happy that you are tuning in with us tonight. Tonight we have got a friend and a co-soarer. I'm very excited to have Shana Westbrook Faulkner. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Very happy to have her here tonight. We are going to be talking about all things Shana tonight. Very excited. We were kind of chit-chatting before we got live. I said, wait a minute, we got to get back to the interview because we could have had a whole conversation just talking off air, just catching up. But good to see your face.
Same here.
Always love your smile. How was your day today?
Today was a beautiful day. Today was an off day. So I had the opportunity.
No, it was a good day.
Yes, I had the opportunity. But you know what? I got up and I kind of cleaned a little. You know, when I get in the cleaning zone, that's when I'm thinking. So I had a chance to clean. So yeah, it's been a good day. And I laid down and I took a nap because I knew I had to do this. I said, I got to get a little rest.
Naps are good. I remember when I used to think nobody has time for a nap. And listen, the closer I get to 50, I'm like scheduling naps now. I don't have no nap game now. So listen, today we are going to ask you the same question I ask all the guests, which of course I know you, But the guests, for those guests that are tuning in, that this is their first time seeing you, the very first question that I ask all the guests, Miss Shana, is please tell us, who is Shana Westbrook Faulkner? Please tell us, who are you?
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I am a mother, a wife, a grandmother. I am a God fearing woman, or shall I say, a child of God. I love to sing in the church choir. I love to write. I've recently taken on a passion of doing treats, where I like make the little sweet treats and everything. But I'm a person that likes to love unconditionally. I like to help if I can. And that's who I am. And I also work in the medical field. So that's another way that I also like to love and contribute and give God's word, as I say, ministry, as I should say, through working in the community also.
And I tell you what, those sweet treats are looking really good. I've been watching. I've been watching the progress.
Girl, I'm like, okay. And let me tell you, I went to work. So I take all the treats to work that I don't eat, because I'm making the treats. I need to lose some weight. So I take them to work to my coworkers. And I have one colleague, he's a nurse practitioner, and he comes in there, he's like, so you baking now? I was like, yes. Honey, he gives me a kitchen aid mixer.
Wow,
I
you can
I
keep
told him I
going.
would pay for it. He told me no, you can keep baking. So he gave it to me.
That is funny.
Wow. I'm writing and I'm baking. So
You are writing and baking. Well, very good. Well, today we are going to be talking about your book, well, your first book. And I know you are in the process of several other books that you have in the works. But today we're going to be talking about a book that's very dear to your heart, Finding Me to Love Me. I mean, even just saying the title alone is like, woo, you know. Um, how did you come up with the title? Before I even ask you about the writing in itself, like, how did you come up with the title?
so I just was sitting up one day and like I say, I started doing a little journaling and everything. So I was like, you know what? Let's start writing. And I
Yeah,
just sat up one day and I just started typing. So as I started writing, and I was like, you know what, finding me to love me, because I had not found myself. So I was trying to find myself to love myself. So that's where the title came from, just off the top of my head. I'm gonna say God gave it to me because it
yeah,
came to me. It just came to
yeah,
me.
yeah. Um, Finding me to love me, like,
Mhm. I know it's deep.
yeah. I'm replaying it in my head because I'm thinking to myself, like hearing that title, like Finding Me to Love Me, like, I mean, I know so many men and women can
Mhm.
resonate with that title because so many of us don't know who we are.
Right.
We have had this identity that was given to us, but we don't truly
Know
know who
who?
we are. We know who we've been told that we are, or who we
Mhm.
are expected to be, should I say, right?
Yes.
But until we actually come into who we are, and then we can actually learn to love that person, and so
Exactly.
just hearing that, finding me to love me, and I might even twist it just a little bit and say finding me in order to love me.
Okay.
Mm,
That's
yeah,
I like that. I like
that's
that.
real. Yeah, it's real deep. It's real deep. So wow. So it's an autobiography based on true life events, and we were just talking about that a few moments ago. Writing an autobiography, it challenges you, it pushes you. Um, Tell me a little bit about, before we get into the depth of
Mhm.
the book, Shana. Kind of walk us through the life of Shana. What did life look like for Shana growing up? Or did you come from a big family, a small family? Kind of tell us what that looked like for you.
Well, first of all, I am the first and the oldest grandchild of my grandmother, who's still living. She'll be 85 years old in November. I'm her firstborn, and as they say, I'm her favorite. I do believe that too.
Okay, okay.
But I come from a family that I can say it was a big family.
Yeah.
My grandmother had 8 children. Like I said, I was the first grandchild that was born to my mother. She had 8 children. Then I had my great grandmother, which was her mother, Big Mama, and we always would get together. I never forget how Big Mama was a very church going woman. We would all make sure that we were up, ready for Sunday school and at church. After church, you had BTU meeting, you had everything. It was churching all day.
Yeah.
But growing up, I was the oldest, as I stated, and being the oldest, sometimes you do have responsibilities.
Mhm.
You have to be the babysitter, you have to be the cook, or shall I say chef sometimes. There's a
House.
lot put on you. You're the house, yeah, you're the housekeeper. So it's like you are having to grow up before you really wanted to grow up. And then that's when you really don't have the experience of being a child like you should, because you have to carry the load to assist, with your mom. And like I
Right.
said, my grandmother had 8 kids, and then the kids had kids. So, there we are as cousins, we would babysit while, they would go to work and do stuff. So it was a big family, and we had our issues just like any other family.
Right.
But I had my fond memories.
Yeah.
I wouldn't take anything away from it. There were some things I would like to have forgotten, but as they say, the good can outweigh the bad.
Right. Right. Okay. And so what part did faith? I heard you say your grandmother was a church woman or woman of God. So was your grandmother the hat kind of church lady? Was she the one that wore the hats and
Yes, ma'am. Miss
yeah.
Willie Mae wore the hat. Miss Willie Mae wore
Okay.
the hat. She would wear the
Okay.
hat. She sang in the choir.
Yeah.
My mother also sang in the choir. Now, that was my great grandmother, Miss Willie Mae. We called her Big Mama. My
Okay.
grandmother, Miss Essie, in the book she's called Ella. She was also a church going lady, and she was an usher. So she would get up every Sunday. She would just
Yeah.
starched down, honey, have a crease. I'm telling you, talking about a crease in that jacket. That was
Yeah.
her, and she
Yeah.
would be there every Sunday. So
Yeah.
that's what she did. So we were going to get up and go to church. Now,
Yes.
once I kind of ventured off with my mom, sometimes I wouldn't have to get up and go. But other than that, if we didn't make it to church on Sunday, then grandma and granny is what we call my grandmother, granny
Yeah.
and big mama. They all were coming around saying, "Ann, can you tell me why the kids went to church today?"
Ah, that needed an explanation.
Yes, there had to be an explanation, and
Yeah.
my mom would come up with something quick. But yeah, we
Yeah.
would go to church.
I love it. I love it. Okay. Um, so at what point in your life, you went through childhood, at what point in your life did you realize that writing was calling you? When did writing become your passion?
I think writing started with me when I was a little younger. And
Okay.
I think it started with me when I was a little younger, but I didn't think anything of it, right? So as I was a teenager, I was in high school, and I would never forget it was you have to write a term paper, is what we used to call it in high school.
Right.
Now, little old me, now I'm not the brightest, nor I'm not the slowest, but I was like, a term paper. I gotta do all this stuff for this paper. And my teacher was Miss Armstrong, rest her soul.
Mhm.
And it was that moment then where I went and got all the information that I needed, and I wrote it, and I was like, oh yeah. And and it was not good what I wrote it on. But she was like, I had to put your book down, Westbrook, your paper down, Westbrook, because oh my God, I can't believe you was writing something so deep and dark. But yes, it was that moment I kind of had a feel for it. But then as I went into school, I was going to school part time as a parent with my children. And
Okay.
then, I would go part time, and I went to school in Minnesota. And then that's when I really found that I had the passion.
Okay. Okay. So the teacher had to give you your props, huh?
Yes, she did. She was like, I had to put that book down. And I don't know why, but I thank God that I know that there is a God, but I just wrote a book about something, and I know God's like, I know if he's looking at me right now, like, why did you write that? But it wasn't a book. I'm sorry. I wrote a paper based
Okay.
off something that I shouldn't probably have, but it was a good paper.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. And so at that point, that was when you kind of thought, okay, I might be onto something, and you kind of kept going
Yes.
with it.
I kind of kept going, and I kept going, but I didn't pursue it like I did at that very moment when I really, really took it serious when I was in Minnesota. So I kind of always had that, in me, from the
Mhm.
writing to the drawing. But it wasn't until I was in Minnesota and in class, and one of my instructors, I don't remember her last name, but her first name was Jane, and she
Okay.
was reading about the paper, and I'm like, oh my God, who wrote that paper?
Yeah.
And then she called my name. I was like, what? And then she called me after class and she was like, can I have a talk with you? And I'm like, oh my God, what did I do? And she was like, why are you in my class? Because it was basic English. Because I didn't do well when when I was getting into school.
Yeah.
She was like, you don't belong in this class. She was like, you wrote that paper? I said, yeah. And every paper that I wrote,
Yeah.
it was always an A. Then I went on to English Comp 2, and it was the same thing. So it was then where she just set something off in me, and that's when I
Yeah.
began to write, and it just went from there.
I love it. I love it. So she encouraged your
Yes,
craft,
she
and
did.
that kind of
She
helped
did.
you, the nurturing of it, of your
Yes.
gift. Yeah. Wow. Okay. And so here we are with the writing and the gifting, and you start out with a autobiography, which is deep. I mean, for some people, it takes a while to get the courage to
I know.
write a autobiography. What, why do you think you found it easy, or was it easy? Was it easy for you to start with the autobiography, or?
You know what? It was easy because I felt like I wrote the book as if I was like talking to someone. So when you
Okay.
read it, it's an
Mhm.
easy read, and when you read it, you can really connect because I felt like I had gone through some things in my
Okay.
life, and I was going through things at the current moment, and I just feel like, you know what, I was journaling. I was like, you know what, let me just start writing about it. So I just started writing, and then before I knew it, I would sit down and I would reread everything that I had written, and I'd be like, okay, this is a chapter. Okay, this is a chapter. So yeah, I just felt like that me writing about my life and things I'd endured, that it could
Yeah.
uplift someone else and encourage them also. But as you stated when we were talking before we started, it was a
Mhm.
lot of things that I didn't put in the book
Right.
that I considered other people, feelings. Some of the things I didn't put in the book, but I think I put enough in there to, ruffle little
Right.
feathers. But I didn't put a lot of things in the book.
Yeah. I understand what you're saying. Um, so tell us a little bit, I mean, without giving everything away,
Okay.
um, what do you think, what do you want the takeaway from reading the book? What is the takeaway from reading the book, Finding Me to Love Me? What is the takeaway?
So what I would like for the person to take away after they read that book, to let them know that through from my childhood when I start off the book up to the point to where I ended the book. I want them to let them know that no matter what you're going through and no matter what path is setting your way, that there is always light at the end of the tunnel,
Mm, yeah.
that you have to have faith, trust God plan, and know that we all go through things in life for a reason, and that
Yeah.
there's a purpose for everybody in your life, and that everybody's not meant to be in your life. They all have a season. So don't try to build up a person as I did in one of the characters. Don't try to build up a person to be
Mm,
what you want them to be,
that's good.
and love yourself genuinely, and don't look for love elsewhere
Mm,
because they look at a person, look at you how you love yourself.
yeah.
And if I love myself that way, then I can't expect him to love me the way I think I should be loved because I'm not showing him that I love myself because I'm permitting him or
Mm,
her to do what they think is okay when it's not okay.
wow. That was deep. I love that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, so we have to really be careful how we treat ourselves, and especially
Hmm.
how we teach other people to
To
treat
love
us
us. That's
and to
right.
love us. Yeah, it's
That's
very
right.
important. Ooh, that's good. Wow, very good, very good.
Thank you. Thank you.
So wow. You talked a little bit about some fun memories and some challenging memories. What would you say to someone who's considering writing an autobiography? And they're like, well, I don't know that I have really anything to put in a book. What do you say to them?
I would encourage them to write a book because this is what I think. I think God put us here on this earth. We all
Mhm.
have a story.
Yes.
We can hide behind the curtains or whatever, but we all have a story. And I
Yeah.
feel like that you, with us putting a story out there, or with whoever's deciding to do an autobiography, putting your story out there, it will not only uplift a person, but it will also heal you at the same time.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I would encourage anyone to write it. It doesn't have to be something that's being, traumatic, or it could be something that's good, fun memories, but it's your story. Share your
Yeah.
story because everybody has a story that needs to be heard. And don't worry about who it offends. Share your
Mhm.
story because it will help not only that person, but it'll help you.
Yeah.
Share
Yeah.
it.
I have definitely found that through my writings, it has been very therapeutic in my healing. I wanted to ask you, you talk a little bit about some of the things that you've been through in your book. Were there any traumatic or major challenges as a child or as an adolescent that you would like to share with us, that you feel like made a difference, or that you definitely had to share, and that as a result of writing the book, you were able to heal from that?
Yeah. So as an adolescent, so I didn't put it in this book, but I'm going to put a little bit in the second book I'm working on. So I encountered some things that we've all encountered coming up as children. Not only women, but men
Right.
have encountered incidents where they were either touched inappropriately or they were approached inappropriately by an adult. So going through something like that
Hmm.
and being an adolescent, what happened to me was, and like I said, it's not in this book, it'll be in the new book, so I'm not going to talk too much about it, but it had me seeking love the
Hmm.
wrong way, being
Right.
promiscuous, not, and that's when I'm like not loving me, feeling that that's infection. That's the way to give love to me, when in
Right.
all reality it was only hurting me. So
Right.
that was something that I endured as an adolescent,
Hmm.
and just growing up not being able to have a lot of things that the other children have. Now I didn't, coming up down in the South, I'm from Arkansas, so you know some of us don't know we're poor until we realize we get older. Girl, you were really poor. So
Right.
I can't complain about that a lot, but yeah, that moment where I had to endure, or I encountered some unpleasant things coming up as a little girl, and it carried over to an adolescent. Yes, and then when it carried over to the point to where like I'm wanting to be touched, or you know breaking my virginity at a young age, not knowing my worth. So at that moment, I didn't know my worth. So yeah, if I could take some of that back, I probably would. But and
Yeah.
then again, I probably wouldn't, because I wouldn't be the person that I am today. So that's why
Yeah.
I say sometimes we endure things in life, but you also feel like why. But I don't want to question God. But
Yeah.
it was just meant to be. So I wouldn't probably be the person who I am today if not for some of the things I've encountered.
I think that was very brave of you to be able to speak on that. I think that sadly is the story for so many uh,
Mm-hmm.
young men and women. I can remember a
Mm-hmm.
time where we thought it was predominantly just women, but sadly, it is not just women. It is a story for young men and young women. Um, um, and we're finding out even more now,
Yes.
that's the case. Yeah. Um, Let me ask you this. What encouraged you to fly high above all these situations and just change your life and just press through everything? We've talked on other platforms and in real life,
Mm-hmm.
and we've talked, and we both have in common that the enemy tried to rob us of love and of experience
Mm-hmm.
because of things we have struggled through in our childhoods, and we've said, shared some of the same traumas and things and multiple marriages. And what do you think encouraged you to fly above all of that and to get to the being the person that you are today?
I think what encouraged me to fly was I had to look at not only myself, but I became a mother. As I stated in this book, I got married very young. I had my first child, then I had my second one, then I had my third one. So as I began to look at my children, I was like, okay, we have to make some changes. And I don't really feel like I made my changes until they were adolescents and probably adults, because I reflect on myself right now sometimes and I can think of some things and I'm like, oh, that was not good. What were you thinking?
Yeah.
But it was my children, and knowing that I did not want them to feel
Yeah.
like I felt. I never wanted my girls to have to be a babysitter. That's one thing that they never had to worry about. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm going to babysit. I never wanted to make them feel like I had you just to be, a help. No,
Mm.
that's not why I had you. So that encouraged me to fly. And I also wanted my children to have more than I had.
Right. Right.
So even now, at the age I am now, even though my children are fully grown and I have grandchildren, I will do all that I can to help my children because it's hard. It's not like it was 20 years ago. It's really
Right.
hard out here. So
It is.
they encourage me, even
Mhm.
up to this point today, to fly and to do the things that I do. So I'm still flying.
Yeah.
I sometimes I come down, I'd be at my lowest point, and I'm like, okay, you got to pick yourself up, but I'm still flying. So I'm still trying to soar.
Yeah. You're soaring. You're definitely soaring. Tell us, what are you working on right now? What do you have going on? I know you've got some new projects that you're working on. Tell us about your new projects.
So I'm gonna show you. This is my first book. I didn't show it when you were talking about it. This is my first book,
Yeah.
and actually, this is actually the second. It's the second cover of my first book. So I have a different book cover. And I will say that because I'm gonna say that before I go any further, if it's okay. But the first book I had, I went through a publishing company. And the publishing company was with a close friend of mine. She and I went to school together, and it was with her brother. Unfortunately, things did not go as planned. Um, I'm not angry with him. We ended it on a good note. I had to look at it from a positive perspective and
Mhm.
be like, if not for him, then it would not have been the first book cover. It would not have
Right.
been, anything. So I'm very appreciative of that. But in doing so, I had to sit down and revamp everything and kind of do another book cover. And as I was sitting up one night struggling, trying to figure out what to put on the book cover because I wasn't able to use the current book cover, I just decided to take one of my pictures I had and put it on there. And I think it turned out pretty good. So it's the same book. It's just a different book cover. It's not the same illustration that was on the current book, but it's the same book. I kind of did change a little bit of the chapters, so it's a little bit different in there. After I was revamping, I was like, oh, I can change this.
Right.
So yes, but so getting back to what you asked me, so the current book I'm working on, it is titled Loving Me. So it's a follow up to Finding You to Love Me.
Okay.
So it's titled Loving Me. I'm kind of at a standstill right now with it. I'm just trying to figure out where do I want to go with it because I feel like my first book was more. It was written 12 years ago, so it was more of like it talked about a lot of things. It's from being in relationships and marriages and thus forth. With this book, I wanted to build more of character on myself as well as build up the characters of the other people in the book. So it's gonna talk about me in the book more. We'll be talking about, my grandmother who I just spoke of, Miss Essie, Ella in the book. Um, so I'm working on that. And I'm also working on a women's book of mythology. So I'm currently doing two projects right now.
Okay.
And so far I've got a lot of feedback from the women that I've asked to be part of the book, and I've also asked you to be part. I think that is going to be a really, really good read. I was just moved reading some of the answers from the questions that the women submitted to me. I,
Yeah.
I was moved. So it's going to be a really good read. I'm really excited about that one.
I think it's going to be amazing as well. Writing it's an obsession for me, and
Hmm.
it's just it's therapeutic. I tell people all the time, my quote is, there's power in your story. So many people, I don't have anything to say. If you've lived through something,
You
you
got a
have
story.
something to say. You
Have a
have a
story.
story to tell, everybody that I talk to, everybody that I interview, I'm like, when you started writing, did it help you heal? And I have yet to have somebody say no. I have never heard anybody say no.
It
Ever.
helped me heal. It helped me
Yeah.
heal.
It helps
And
you to
it helped
heal.
me
Yeah.
heal. It
It
helps you
helps you
heal
to heal.
because yeah, because you can look back and you can look at what you were and you can see where you are now in life. So, and I tell anybody, like I was telling a friend of mine, when I do go, if I go before my husband go, he will look and see so many tablets because I'm always writing. I probably have 50 journals around here somewhere. I'm always writing.
Yeah.
So, but I like to look back on some of them and I'm like, okay, girl, you've grown a little bit. Okay, you're not still like, you've grown. So I'm proud of you. So everybody has a story. And if I mean, it's a healing thing. And like you said, it's very therapeutic. So I
Yes, it is.
encourage you to journal and then go from journaling to writing.
Yeah, it is something that you definitely should do. And in my case, it saved me from seeing a therapist. There's
Now
nothing
look at
wrong.
here, girl. I don't know. I
Listen,
was saying the other night, I
it's
was like,
nothing
I
wrong
think I
with
see her.
seeing a therapist. Trust me, it's nothing wrong with it. But it helped me so much. You
I
know,
was, crazy that you say that. I was considering going to see one. But then I
yeah.
was like, you know what, girl? Nah, I'm talking to the therapist, but who is the therapist talking to?
Hello, her
You
therapist.
know, who the therapist talking to?
She talking to one too. She talking to one too. So yeah. Well, it sounds like faith has played a really big part in your life, which is a really good thing. That your family and everything has been rooted and grounded in faith, and that has been a really big support system. It sounds like. Am I right?
It has. Now, yes, the faith has been a support system. Now that as always, you do have some issues in the family. And like I say, I can let my good outweigh my bad. We've had our WWE moments in our families.
Yeah.
Where you get together to barbecue, next thing you know, you're out there like Hulk Hogan's. So I yeah, out there fighting, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You have a
Yeah.
little bit too much of the wine in your system. But other than that, even though we all have those moments, they're still supportive. They are very still supportive, regardless. They're still in my corner. My aunts on my dad's side and my mom's side, and my uncles, they're very supportive. My brothers, my paternal brothers, love them to death. They're very, very supportive. Very supportive.
Yes, I'm laughing hard because I know about it. I know about it. Yeah, we used to have family get-togethers when my grandparents were both living, and we would all get together and have every weekend fish fries,
Hmm.
cookouts. Every weekend we would find something to
Yes.
cook. But I guarantee you, by Saturday night, it was going to turn into something else. We would by Saturday night, everybody would be full, if you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. You ain't talking about full of catfish neither. I know what you're talking about, full of moonshine and everything else. Yes.
Something, yeah, and it would turn into something else. And me and my sister would have to provide the entertainment. They want us to sing church songs.
Yes. Our dance. Michael Jackson was big, so they want you to do the
Oh,
thriller moves and do
hey,
beat it.
you sure we
Yeah.
ain't related? You sure we ain't related?
We
Listen,
might be, just don't know it.
listen, we have to dance and sing church songs. Yes, every weekend. But anyway, that's why I was laughing so hard because that show sound familiar. And then flashback to something that happened, I don't know how many years ago, and folks chasing each other. Yes, I remember. Lord Jesus, thank you. He brought us from a mighty long way. Oh,
But you
Jesus.
know what? I wouldn't change it for the world. I would not change it
I
for the
don't
world.
know. I don't
Change it
know.
for the world, honey.
I don't know. But we made it. We made it to
It,
the
wa- it
other.
was good writing. It's good writing.
Hey, you know what? Yeah, it
Good
makes for
writing.
some good writing. It makes for some good writing. Listen, Shana,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I
Yes, it
am so
did.
happy that you have came into the studio tonight and shared with us what you've got going on with your new project, with your Finding Me to Love Me. I can't stop saying that. Finding Me to Love Me. Finding me to love me. Listen, somebody just need to say that tonight, just over and over and over.
Girl, maybe that'll be my conference. Finding me to love me.
That is that's a whole conference, a workshop. Listen, that right there, that's a whole sermon. That's a listen.
It really is.
That's
Really,
everything.
is.
That's a workshop. Listen, I'm the branding person, so I'll tell you all about what you can do with that.
We're gonna have to discuss it after this.
You got a workshop, you got a conference, you got a part 2 book, you got a whole lot of things with just that title right there. But let's talk about this upcoming conference we have. For all of you that are watching, Miss Shana and I are also ministry partners. We are both a part of Ro Alpha Tau.
Yes.
We collaborate with Diamonds in the Rough nonprofit ministry. And so we are ministry partners, and we have an amazing men's conference coming up in Dallas, Saturday, July the 19th.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
It is called Men Hurt Too. Shana, what do you want to say? What do you want to say about the men's conference?
I would like to say that every man, young, old, even older men, bring your grandson with you. I think this is a conference that every man needs to attend. It will be a moment of healing, a moment of just, being vulnerable and just being there in the presence of men and just, letting yourself go. We're going to have food. We're going to have gifts to give away. We're going to have raffles. And it's going to be in a nice setting, honey. So I just think that every man should attend. Doesn't matter, like I said, how old you are. Bring your son, bring your grandson. I think you really should attend. Joseph is one of our members, also Ro Alpha Tau, and he's also going to be one of the speakers there. And he and I are also church members, so I know him from church. He's a very, 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 very good speaker, and he also is an author as well. He's written a book. So I think you all should come out and you all should attend. I think I'm gonna have to attend myself. I'm not a man.
My chair just froze.
I'll just be there for support.
Listen.
I'll be there for support.
I need support right now. But listen, yes, as she was saying, we want you not only to come out yourself, but bring fathers, sons, grandfathers, bring generations. This is a men's conference. Men Hurt Too. We're going to be talking about men issues. Whatever type of issue is on your mind, you will be free to talk about that. Just encourage another man. There are going to be so many different men from different ages in the room. And some of the younger guys need to see that it's okay to have feelings, to have thoughts about things, to be able to express themselves, because some of these young men that are going to be in the room don't have father figures. They don't have brothers, and so they're going to need to hear that it's okay to think about things and be encouraged. We're hoping that some of these young men will walk away with mentors when they walk out of the room on the day of the conference, And as she stated, Joseph is a part of the organization. Joseph Roberts is an author. He has his own podcast. Listen, he is not only going to be a speaker, but he's hosting the conference.
Yes, he is.
He's an amazing mentor as well. He's going to do an amazing job, and we just want you all to come out and support him. Dr. Marvin Cotton is coming all the way in from Michigan with an amazing word. He spent 19 years in prison and was exonerated for a crime he did not commit. Can you imagine how you would feel to spend 19 years in prison for something you did not do? But this man came out on fire for the Lord and came out with a message called Better Not Broken. Okay. And he came out and has started organizations that help exonerees get their lives back. Okay. So you do not want to miss this conference. We have TC Alexander, who's from Bank of Texas. We've got a gentleman that's going to be coming and talking. His name is Tim Jones is going to be coming. He's going to be speaking. We've also got GF Soldiers going to be coming, and he, as he says, spitting it like he feels it. He's going to be doing spoken word. And if you have not heard GF Soldier, listen, you need to come and be in the house. So it is going to be amazing. We're going to have some amazing food. Everything is just going to be on point. As she said, we've got some gifts and it's just going to be fun. The hotel has extended the grounds to us so we can move about freely. If you come early enough, you even get free breakfast and lunch. Okay. So, yeah. Yeah. So we are excited. Make sure you get your ticket on Eventbrite. Okay. So,
Question.
yes, ma'am.
Are we going to raffle off any tickets, or are we like just, the cost of the tickets and everything? Because as you were sitting here talking, I was thinking about this place my husband and I went to. I think it's called
Mhm.
61 Directions. I think I may have it wrong.
Okay.
But it was some young men there, and we were considering doing volunteer work at one point at that place. It's
Okay.
located here in McKinney, and they do have a home here, not too far from where we live in Fairview, where there are a group of gentlemen. So I'm just sitting here thinking maybe I can
So
see
this
one
is
or
the
two.
thing, and Joseph and I talked about this. Joseph, Joseph is the vice president of the board and the ministry as well, and so we kind of had a chat not too long ago, and this is the reality of it. We do ministry for real, for real, for
Hmm.
real, and money is not going to stop us from ministering the word of God. We were talking to someone a couple weeks ago who has an organization as well, and we actually were talking to him about a program where he mentors young men, and we let him know, you get them to the conference, we get them in the room.
Okay.
That's what it's about. um is there a ticket price for the conference? Yes. But if you show up to the conference and you're not financially able, that's between you and God, whether you're telling the truth or you're not telling the truth. That's between you and the Lord. Okay. But we are trying to give you the opportunity to be in the room where the word of God is going to go free. And we're trying to help change your life. Honestly, that's what we're trying to do.
Okay.
And so, if you need a ticket, if you need to be sponsored, reach out to one of the board members. That would be Shana Westbrook Faulkner, Minister Author Stephanie M. Seaton, Joseph Brooks, or Charity Anderson, or Amaya Carter. You can reach out to any of us five. Let us know that you need sponsorship and we can make arrangements with you. Do not show up at the conference. Reach out to us ahead of time so that we can put
Right.
your name on the list. We have to put your name on the list. We do believe in doing things decent and in order so that
That's
we can
right.
put your name on the list. But we definitely want people to be in the room if you want to come to the conference. Okay. So, in other words, yes, if you know of people that need to be in the room, Shayna, let's make it happen because
Okay.
that's what it's about. We want people to be in the room. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Okay, and we did for Father's Day, we gave away I think 3 tickets. Joseph's going to make that announcement, but we've already secured 3 tickets, and I
Okay.
don't know if he made the announcement or yet, but I know he's talked to those 3 people. So yeah, we definitely it's about making sure that people get the opportunity to be in the room. We're not pulling all these people together just to be doing something. We're really trying to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ and help people's lives to be changed. That's really what it's about. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
I am too. I mean, I know it's a men's conference, but I'm looking forward to it myself.
Are you going to
I'm
be
of
there? Are you going to attend?
course I'm gonna be there. Are you joking?
I just was wondering. I'm like, she going or not? I mean, it's a Saturday, but I think I'm gonna have to just probably just.
Shayna, are you serious right now?
I'm gonna have to take off. I work on weekends, but
I hope you're gonna be there too.
I am. I'm gonna put my time in when I get off this phone.
I gotta be there.
I know you do. I'm just messing with you, and you can't be there by yourself. So I have to be there to support you.
Yeah, I hope you will be there. Yeah, I hope you
So
will
I
be
mean, and so yes, there's so much we have to do, but we will get it done. I was just trying to brainstorm about the gifts and everything, the free
there.
gifts,
Oh,
because for
everything's
the
done.
men.
everything's done. We'll talk about it off air, but
Yes, I'm excited.
yeah, everything's done. We're just looking for some over and above. You know, I'm a little bit of an overachiever.
There's nothing wrong with being over and above,
But
honey. Sometimes it's best to have too much and not have enough.
hey, that's where we're going. But
That's
you know,
right.
I have already ordered and
I
ordered.
know you have.
I
I
got
know you
boxes.
have.
I got boxes upon boxes.
Oh my Lord. Oh my Lord.
Hey, you saw the women's conference? What are you talking about?
That's what I said. Oh my Lord. Boxes on box. Oh my gosh.
So listen, in other words, you guys just get to the conference.
Yes,
Just get
I
to the
most
conference.
certainly, I most certainly will reach
Yeah.
out to those young men or have my husband to reach out to them and see if we can make it happen for them to attend. At least one of them to
And I
attend.
want to give this shout out. We are going to have some amazing food. The food is being prepared by Icy Roberts.
Oh, I heard about it, girl.
Yes,
Yes.
Joseph Roberts' wife is an amazing cook, and she has
Mm-mm.
agreed to cater the food. And I am so excited. Thank you, Icy. We really appreciate you
Yes.
so much. I'm so gracious that she is doing that for us. So that is amazing. I definitely want to give her a big shout out
Yes,
um,
ma'am.
doing that. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Amazing, amazing, amazing. And I'm ready to eat. I'm already ready to eat.
I was sitting here thinking the same thing. Like, I cannot wait to taste this food.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
I'm
Because
looking
Joseph
forward
was
to it because
talking about it.
she can cook. She was talking about it at church when we were at church last time. And I was like,
Yeah.
I am looking forward to this food, honey.
You listen. Hey, y'all hear all this? We telling y'all. Even we're on the committee and we're excited. So
Yes.
listen. We're on
Please
the
come out
committee.
July the 19th and join us for the men's conference to
Yeah,
hear
July the
good
19th, men's
speakers.
conference. Yes.
Yes.
Register on Eventbrite. So Miss Shana, we're about to wrap it up. How can people find your book?
So I am on Amazon. And as I stated, it is Finding Me to Love Me. And you will also have another one that pop up as well. Um, and you can go to Amazon. I'm on Amazon. And also you can contact me at findingmetoloveme@gmail.com if you would like an autograph copy. So feel free to contact me via email. I am here for questions, support in any type of way if you need it. And you can me as well. But once again, feel free to contact me at findingmetoloveme@gmail.com. And I look forward to signing a book and sending it to you.
Thank you so much for
Thank
being
you.
tonight. I really appreciate you being on the show. Looking forward to seeing you in real life really soon. And you have an amazing rest of the night, ma'am. Okay.
Thank you. You too. Thank you for having me.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. Have a good night.
You too.
Thank you guys for tuning in to the Stephanie M. Seaton Sunday Show. We will see you back on next week. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
If you would like to be a guest on the Stephanie M. Seaton Sunday Show, email Stephanie at stephaniemseatontheauthor@gmail.com.